Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Back to School Orientation. I'm Matthew Travers, and I'll be your children's teacher this year. So, part of my teaching style involves arts integration. According to the John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts, arts integration is an approach to teaching in which students construct and demonstrate understanding through an art form. So, they take content from math, science, history, English language arts, and they integrate it with an art form such as the media, which can be drawing and painting. It can also be forms such as theater, dance, and music. And I actually did one in the past where it was through theater. My students I read a story to my students, and they either reenacted the ending to the scene or came up with their alternate ending to the scene. This is just a brief video. Group, you guys want to go? All right. Once you're up there and you're doing it, you're gonna feel fine. All right. So, what characters are you guys?
Shark.
Okay.
Where did my hat go?
I'm not going to show the whole video, but that's just a small example of how the students actually gained experience of what the concept material was, and they incorporated or integrated it with an art form to still learn the material. And this was a exercise that was done in about 25-30 minutes. I have another example of student generated responses of a non-arts integrated lesson in which I read a story, talked about culture, traditions, and customs, and then they had to write a sentence about what they do. A lot of them wrote about holidays, different things that they do with their families, and then they also had to write a sentence about a different group member. Someone within their groups, what they do with their families, or what they do as far as customs or traditions. Some of them even drew pictures with it. Again, that is not an art integration, but I did another lesson with the same book, same concept idea with talking about culture, traditions, customs. But I integrated the art form dance. So I read the story instead of having the students read the story, and I read it to them. I then modeled a dance after we had talked about all the different um, vocabulary, such as culture, traditions, customs, and then I had them perform dances within their groups. Of course, they had to create the dances on the spot with their group members. So that's just a simple way that you can take the same lesson, same idea, and integrate an art form. And so, some of the benefits, according to Julia Marshall from Substantive Art Integration, Exemplary Art Education, it involves imaginative thinking. The concepts kind of come to them in images and ideas, which allow them to think deeply. They connect them to real world stuff, real world things, real world experiences, and that's thinking broadly. And in developing imaginative and playful exercises that allows the students to discover and connect to them through research and play. And so that's just the more formal way of describing what arts integration can do for not only myself as a teacher, but my students and how they learn. And it's grounded in theory because you can apply this potential art to any student. It's transferable learning so that it's not situationally specific. John Dewey suggests everyone is capable of at least artistic thinking, which links to applications of imaginative thinking in other subjects. And again, that simply describes that it can be integrated into math, science, history, English language arts. And so just kind of wrap up what I'm talking about here in this video, I have two tips that I really like. Hit the sweet spot of the students. You want to make sure that each student is feeling a little bit uncomfortable, but not confusion. They have to reach for what they want, not simply be given it to them or give up if it's too difficult. And break everything down into chunks. You can't simply have a concept be broken or told to them in just a large chunk. For example, the dance was broken down. They all understood what was expected of them. I modeled one to them. We read the story, talked about ideas. I modeled the dance, and then they created the dance, practiced it, and then performed it to each person. Thank you guys for back to school orientation. I look forward to getting to meet each and every one of you and get to know each and every one of you a little bit more personally. Thank you.